What is going on, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video, and we're back for another Ring of Honor television review, reviewing the 24th installment of Ring of Honor on Honor Club. There's a lot that took place on this show. Let's just get right into it. The opening contest was Slim J versus Dalton Castle. Slim J keeps Castle grounded after scratching him in the eyes and hits a standing moonsault. However, Castle is able to catch him and attempts to hit a bangarang, but Slim J grabs the ropes. Soon following, Castle hits a bunch of different variations of suplexes and then wins the match with bangarang. Next matchup, the Iron Savages versus Lucky Ali and Brady Pierce. Bronson and Ali start the match off, but soon into the match, Bronson drinks the Savage sauce. Now, I don't know what the Savage sauce contains, as it was in a orange shaker workout bottle. I don't know the proper name for one of those bottles are, so I don't know what it pertained, but it was able to speed him up and give him more energy. Soon, Boulder tags in, and while it takes a while for him to do it, he is able to hit a big slam on Brady Pierce, and the Iron Savages win the match with the elevator drop. Now, I will say this. I've reviewed a couple of Iron Savages matches, and I never say the name of their finishing move, mainly because the commentators never say the name of their finishing move. So I finally Googled it today. Normally I say that he's up on his shoulder and then he slams down. But I Googled it. It's called the elevator drop. So I have to make a mental note of that. We get another tag team match in the next matchup, the Infantry versus Zicky Dice and Movie Mike. Mike and Shawn Dean start the match off, which sees Mike get hit with a bunch of arm drags, and they made sure to note Ricky Steamboat was on Collision last week, so maybe that's what influenced him to do that. And then eventually, the Infantry win the match with their rushing leg sweep big boot combination. A very quick and good matchup. Next matchup is Lee Moriarty versus Andrew Everett, former PWG Tag Team Champion. I like to, if I know a lot about one of the competitors, then I'll say something about him. And I didn't know that about Andrew Everett. Moriarty targets the left arm of Everett while he fights back. Everett attempts a shooting star press with Moriarty moving out of the way. He follows that up with a big lariat and then wins the match with a Border City stretch. Next matchup, Tony Nese versus Pat Buck. Now, there's a lot I need to get through with this. Earlier in the night, Tony Nese and Mark Sterling were interviewed, and they said that they were going to cancel their matchup. As soon as they got into this town, they saw there were a bunch of fat people, but his exact quote was a Jabba the Hutt convention, and he was asked the healthiest place to eat at, and they mentioned a Waffle House. So the match does take place, but before the match takes place, Tony Nese tries some group exercising, but that does not take place as Pat Buck, I almost call him Joe Buck, who I believe is the NFL commentator, but Pat Buck interferes and the matchup starts. Except for a Pat Buck Sky High, shout out D'Lo Brown, the match is mainly dominated by Tony Nese, who wins with a running knee in the corner. So it is, I like to call it, or I'm pretty sure his move is called the running knees, which makes sense. Knees, but I'm pretty sure that's when he runs in with both knees, where this time he only ran in with one knee, so that's why I just called it running knee singular. Next matchup is a proving ground match, Athena versus Rachel Ellering, who has competed on ROH before against Willow Nightingale earlier this year. I don't know the exact episode it was, though. Athena attempts to keep Rachel grounded after Rachel slams her face into the bottom rope after Athena pushes her down. Rachel is able to hit a black hole slam for a 2 count, but gets knocked off the second rope before able to do anything, and then Athena hits a Shining Wizard and wins the match with O-Face. To continue, the commentators, I'll make note of this later, but the commentators were mentioning that Athena is pretty much the face of Ring of Honor right now, and the only person you can compare that with is Samoa Joe, because with Athena's case, she's competed constantly. Joe competes every once in a while. He at least shows up. I would say that, but he didn't even show up on this episode. But Athena definitely has a great argument, and I say it every week, I enjoy watching Athena compete on here, but she definitely has a great argument for that, which, again, I'll make note of later. You're probably wondering why. You'll see why. The next matchup is the Workhorsemen versus the Gates of Agony, and technically a proving ground match. Now, I say technically, the only reason I say technically is because there wasn't a match graphic, but Earlier in the night, the Workhorsemen were being interviewed backstage, and they're saying that they're tired of being good hands. They're tired of having good matches, but never winning because they have championship potential, which leads to the Gates of Agony and Prince Nana, members of the Mogul Embassy, to pop up and say that they are not championship material, and that they have a shot tonight. If the Workhorsemen were to win this match, then they would have to pick a partner. Who would that partner be? I don't know. And if, like I said, if they were to win this matchup, then they would get a 6-man tag team title match. So, I gotta find where the actual match starts. All right. Anthony Henry and Khan start the match off with the early portion of this match, seeing Henry trying to fight back both members of the Gates of Agony. There's one part where they were outside on the ring and he was sitting on a chair, and Khan and Toa smashed into him, and it looked pretty vicious. But he finally builds up enough momentum to tag in Drake, who hits a tope suicida onto both members of the Gates of Agony. And then Khan gets hit with a foot stomp backbreaker combo that he was able to reach the ropes for. Then JD Drake misses a moonsault and is hit with the Gates of Agony, leading to the Gates of Agony winning the matchup. The next matchup is Layla Hirsch versus Angela Risk. Earlier in the night, Hirsch is being interviewed, and she is talking about her impressive run so far in Ring of Honor, and that she wants a women's world title shot. But Maria Kanellis, who has kind of been scouting Layla Hirsch, is saying that she should probably wait it out. But after her performance tonight, that probably doesn't make sense, because it was a very quick matchup with Layla Hirsch landing some devastating suplexes and winning with an arm bar. The next matchup is Cole Carter versus Rhett Titus, and Maria Kanellis comes into play again. As Cole Carter was being interviewed and being talked about, Maria Kanellis scouting him last week, and he thinks that she was doing that because she has a crush on him. And then she comes into the interview, and she did not deny that, but she did not confirm it either. But she says she wants to see some more tonight. So Carter has the advantage early on in the match, but then Maria Kanellis comes up to the stage, and this leads to him get distracted, and Rhett Titus fights back, but he was not able to do much as Cole Carter hits a ripcord knee and wins with a spinning DDT. The next matchup is Robin Renegade versus Billy Starks. It's very weird because the Renegade sisters, they have not been on our, and it was the main reason I can probably Google it, but I want to keep my questioning out there. So I remember there was one time that they did Twin Magic, and then there's another time that they didn't, and the commentators made note, we don't know if they're twins or not. So like I said, I can obviously Google it and see if they are or not twins, but I want to keep my suspicions up because they always dress alike. But tonight was not the case. They did not dress alike, so I had to make note of that. Robin keeps Starks grounded for the early portion of the match, mainly with lots of big boots, but Starks fights back, including a tope suicida through the bottom rope, hitting both sisters, and then once they both get back into the ring, Starks is able to win the match after hitting a swanton bomb. After the match, the Renegade sisters attack Starks, and then Athena comes out and attacks the Renegade sisters, twins. I don't even know their name. Is it twins? I might have just went on that big rant for no reason. We'll see. But anyways, Athena, again, I can't mention it earlier. I'll have to mention her again. Athena comes out to save the day, and Starks is confused by it. So Athena was interviewed after a match talking about how she is the face of Ring of Honor, and that she did not even get enough action in her matchup earlier, and so she wants to beat up more people, so that is why she beat up the Renegade sisters, but not Billy Starks. So maybe we'll see something else with that down the line. Now, we get another interview, this one being with Josh Woods, and he was saying that he kind of wanted to go on his own, but Mark Sterling's like, you should wait. And then he's like, I don't want to do the group exercising anymore. So Mark Sterling's like, you don't have to do that. And that he will have a matchup next week with Silas Young, who Josh Woods and Silas Young used to be tag team partners. They mentioned that on commentary a lot. But now it is time for our main event. The number one contenders TV Championship Eliminator Finals, Shane Taylor versus Gravity. Gravity tries to use his speed to his advantage early on, but is slowed way down after being hit with a big lariat. Taylor then has the advantage for this until They're both on. Taylor is outside the ring, and Gravity is on the second rope, and Gravity is able to power up and hit him with a Samoan drop, which was very, very surprising. And then Gravity jumps up to the top rope, and he tries to hit a frog splash, but Shane Taylor is able to get his knees up, and he hits the Marcus Garvey, or, as I call it, the package pile driver to win. And then he calls out Samoa Joe, not on the microphone, but to the crowd. He's saying he wants Joe. He wants Joe. He's going to knock Samoa Joe out. So the number one contender for the TV championship is Shane Taylor. When will we see Shane Taylor versus Samoa Joe? I don't know. They did not mention it at all tonight, but they did mention it last week because it's when the match was set up. But next week, we're supposed to be seeing Samoa Joe and Stokely Hathaway versus Dalton Castle's boys. So will that match take place? We will see next week. So this is a quicker review. I'm hot as hell. It is storming and thundering outside. I need to go look up to see if the Renegade Sisters are twins or not. Don't want to keep that suspicion up. You will be the judge. So, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next video.